Welcome to another beautiful day on this public relations program, Your Image. We're glad to be with you once again. It's been quite a while. And I'm happy to join you after the award series that we organized recently. Today, we're looking at public relations and political campaign. Political campaign is otherwise known as electoral campaign, and that is the period where politicians connect with the citizenry. It is the time when vision, ideas, and the future of a nation is put on the table, and so many issues are dissected. Today, I'll be relating with a political scientist and a lecturer at the Moshood Abeokuta Polytechnic, in person of Dr. Lekon Oketokun. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's nice to have you because you're a man known to have a lot of a wider view and a deep view when it has to do with political science and political issues in the nation. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
We are in the season of campaigns, and people are looking forward. Electorates are looking forward to identifying, to connecting with a party that will take charge of their interests, that will help Nigeria to move forward, that will also engender a shift in the previous arrangements whereby promises are not kept. And then at the end of the day, probably we walk one step forward, 2 steps backward. So what is your view? With the political parties that are the array of political parties that we have in Nigeria, what is your view when you look at the ideology? Can you pinpoint the ideology of a party in difference to another party that we have in Nigeria now?
Yeah, thank you very much. Talking about ideology of the different political parties that we have in Nigeria today, I must say that although they have some ideology, but the truth of the matter is that when you have an ideology like that, it should define what you do. And in defining what you do, that means that you have a vision of society, the way and manner you want to transform the society. And in other civilized, in other advanced countries, you see those ideals sometimes in contradistinction with one another.
When you say ideals,
yes.
What do you mean by that?
Ideals are your vision of society. Okay. Whether you want to toe the liberal or the socialist ideal, and so on and so forth. But in Nigeria, if you look at the parties that we have today, they are all 6 and half a dozen.
Okay. Are you saying they are the same?
They are the same. Even the Labour Party that you think that should have a Labour-centric ideology. When you look at the manifesto, I mean the manifesto and the programs of the party, it's not different from what you have in other parties. So what you have across the parties are almost the same. And that's why when you talk about ideology, ideology is something that makes you stay somewhere, because the vision you have of society. But if you look at Nigeria, the way our political parties, our gladiators move from one party to another, you discover that there is nothing like ideology.
So how is that going to help the citizens in choosing a political party that will benefit their interest?
Well, an enlightened citizenry will always be able to decipher the real from the fake, and so on and so forth. But in Nigeria, as I've said, all the political parties that we have, they are 6 and half a dozen, because the kind of movement that you have within those parties, I mean, between them, where Mr. A loses a primary today, and tomorrow he jumps to Party B. You understand? He has a disagreement with Party A, and jumps to party C. And you could see that that's something to worry about, because in other climes where ideology really is followed, is observed, you can't, if you go to America, for example, you can't see a Republican, for example, jumping to the Democratic Party. You understand me?
I understand.
If you go to UK, you can't see a conservative man simply because something is wrong with his party, within his party, jumping to the Labour Party, and vice versa. So when you talk about ideology in Nigeria, we have not really institutionalized the role of ideology, which makes people to believe that, look, come what may, this is our vision, this is our party vision. And whether we are in power, whether I have disagreement, I will stay within and fight it. But what we have today is not
in your
not
perception,
reflective of that.
how do you see the readiness of all these political parties? How do you see them in coming up with strong political campaigns that will spread the message and help them to further identify which political party is serious and which one is not serious?
Well, if you look at the Nigerian society today, it's we have a lot of challenges. And because we have a lot of challenges, I will expect that the various political gladiators, when campaigning, will make their issue to center on those challenges. That is, there should be issue-based campaigns. We have challenges in education, challenges in health, challenges as far as security is concerned, unemployment is there, and food security is also there. So when you talk about campaigning now, I believe a serious political party or a serious political gladiator should, as much as possible, engage the citizenry in some of those issues. What exactly does he want to do to solve the security problem that we have? What do they want to do in solving the health situation of the country? What does he want to do about medical tourism, for example? You know that our political leaders now, when they are sick, the next thing you see is that they take a flight and travel abroad. That is to tell you that our health facilities, our health infrastructure is not up to the level that can salvage life, especially for the so-called elite. So, and that is because they have money to fly out. But what of those who are not able to fly out? So, in terms of medical tourism, in terms of brain drain of our medical people, you understand me?
Yeah.
You do know that because of the level of infrastructure in our healthcare system, a lot of medical doctors are going abroad. Nurses are traveling abroad because they want some greener pastures because of the level of infrastructure in the society. So a serious political party should also campaign and tell us exactly what they want to do in respect of that. And when you talk about insecurity, again, you talk about how does he want to put in place a security architecture that takes care of all. For example, you cannot travel on many roads at night these days. Even in the daytime, there are armed men engaging people on the road, killing and doing all manner of things. What do they want to do about that? Because if you do not think about the security architecture we have today as it is, then the issue of insecurity will continue. For example, there has been clamor for state police and community policing. I think now is the time for any serious political party to begin to come up with how to bring that into existence, because whether we like it or not, in advanced societies where security is taken care of, you have local police, you have state police. There are layers of police forces. You understand me? But in Nigeria, we have one omnibus police that takes instruction from the IG, and that is not good for any system. A system as big as Nigeria, it's not good.
I have the fear
Yeah.
that this new dispensation
Yeah.
having this electoral campaign might not be different from the other ones we've been having.
Well, unfortunately, I must be honest with you. When you talk about political campaigns, I've always said it. The kind of campaign we run in Nigeria is not a proactive campaign, because proactive in the sense, it's not proactive in the sense that there are three types of people that go to a campaign grant. The first set of people are those who just want to come and see the number of cars and the number of big men that are in that campaign grant. They are fascinated by the siren, by the sound of the siren. They are drawn to the campaign grant. The second set of people are political party people themselves, and those ones they are not even there to listen to any campaign. They are just there to clap and to hail their political gladiators. You understand when they speak? The third set of people are the people, probably people like you and me, who want to hear what they want to say. But at the end of the day, we don't get to to be able to ask questions. So when you go to campaigns now, you are not going to be able to ask questions.
So which way forward?
So I think we should begin to look at a way where some form of serious closed-door campaigns can be done in probably town halls where questions can be asked, specific questions, and then you invite professionals to those campaigns, as different from all these campaigns that you have where every Tom, Dick and Harry is there, and then all you see is there are people carrying party banners, party flags, banners of gladiators and showing it and hailing them. But when you have issues with professionals who are having challenges on their job, when political gladiators and aspirants go to those people, they will learn from those people, and then that will inform what they will do when they get to office.
Perhaps it's the fault of the stakeholders. Well, let's look at some of the stakeholders, like the professional bodies.
Yeah.
How have they been engaging them in a robust dialogue that will bring them out in coming up with policies and documents that are implementable? That is one. The people themselves, how have they, because you talked about town hall meetings, and what we see most often is maybe they go to a particular field and they begin to campaign, distribute souvenirs and the like, and then at the end of the day, the show ends. So you might not actually be blaming the politicians if we don't have stakeholders who are also taking them up to demand certain things that they will expect to be delivered to them in the nearest future. So,
yes, you are right in saying that our professionals should also not just fold their hands, because at the end of the day, the decisions, the policies of those people that come into office will ultimately affect them. So I want to, like you suggested, now begin to see our professional bodies organizing campaigns for our political gladiators, so that their specific issues will be brought to the front burner. And then if there are issues they want tackled, at that forum they can easily present it, and then a way forward will be found, because the political gladiators, they are just specialists in probably one field, and they may not really know exactly the rot in the various systems that we operate in Nigeria here, in the various key professions. You understand? For example, a lawyer, for example, may not know what is wrong with the health system. So, but when he engages with the doctors, the nurses in the field, definitely some of the things that were not clear to him will be brought to him. And that is the way it should be for all the professions, because governance is a serious thing. And you need also people of vision, people who are very, very enlightened.
People who are deep
in knowledge, you see, because what you do in governance is something that is very critical to the existence of human beings. It's very critical to the well-being of human beings. And only those who are deep, those who understand the intricacies of governance, can really deliver the dividends of democracy. Because It is not enough for us to just go to the field and campaign and then everybody waves the flag and we go away. And at the end of the day, it doesn't transform to the betterment of the society.
Do you see the political parties actually doing their research in bringing up a credible candidate, a visionary candidate that can actually tackle the issues that we are talking about, welfare, structural, economy, and the like?
Well, unfortunately, the political parties have a way of electing or selecting their candidates. And unfortunately, again, there's little anybody can do about it. Elections is all about acceptability. And once you are not acceptable, you cannot be presented. You understand me? There are so many other things that you look out for when you are presenting candidates. It is not enough for you to, otherwise, only professors will be in the saddle. Knowledgeable professors or people who are professionals. But when it comes to election is a different thing, and sometimes you marvel at the kind of people that are put forward at the end of the day. But that is neither here nor there. My own take is that once you are a candidate and you have been presented, the onus is on you to have it in your mind that you are going there to deliver the deliverance of democracy. And everything that is needed for you to do that, you must ensure that you do that. You must ensure that you learn and do all that is needful for you to deliver those dividends of democracy. And I believe that with the way things are now, you are not even going to, the various political parties are not short of people who are knowledgeable. You understand me? They are not short of people who are knowledgeable because...
So if they are not, if political parties are not short of people who are knowledgeable and who can understand the terrain and probably advance the cause of the citizens and the nation forward, why is it that we have not seen any noticeable development or change in the psyche and environment of a nation?
Well, when I say we are not short of knowledgeable people, you don't forget that those knowledgeable people will have to deal will have to operate within a structure, within a framework. And sometimes those frameworks are constraining things. So we need people who are able not only to come into office, you understand me, identify those structures that impede progress, that impede development, and deal with it, rather than just operating within the system or structure that is not allowing him or her to actually perform to the optimum. And that is one thing about leadership. Once you are a leader, you are supposed to be able to identify long ahead before you go into office those things that are impeding progress and development. Because when you want to come into office, it's not just a one-day thing. It's something that is in your vision, you have been dreaming about it. So you must have studied the system on your own. Do research.
Let me quickly interject.
Okay.
Our politicians, are they really preparing for the office?
Well, that is neither here nor there. I can't say they are not prepared. I can't say they are prepared. But from experience, from what we have seen, it's like many of them are not prepared for office. The truth of the matter is that many of them have performed below par, below average. And you keep wondering whether these people have done their homework or not, whether these people have done their homework or not. The reality is that very few people have come into office and distinguished themselves and impacted society and impacted the common people. Many of them have only been there and offered mere tokenism. You understand me? They just do some cosmetic roads, some cosmetic health clinics, and those health clinics will not even be equipped. And these are some of the challenges.
That takes me back to the issue of the people, the stakeholders that we're talking about. But people now, when you look at the way the individuals that are justly to hold offices are coming up, have they been able to dig deep into their past? That is one. Have they been able to find out the pedigree, the kind of foundation, the kind of work that they have done to enable them and be fit for that office? Do you see that happening with the citizens?
Well, unfortunately, sometimes the citizens are also very culpable in some of these things, because we have seen instances where in choosing between candidates of the various political parties, we have seen just situations where people leave supposedly qualified people and vote for people who are less qualified on the basis of their party affiliation. And the truth of the matter today is that, and this is very unfortunate, if you don't belong to the main political parties today, you are likely not to have a chance to go into office. And that's why competition for offices and elections into those major political parties is usually a do-or-die affair.
Should Nigeria continue to have that scenario repeating itself every now and then, that you cannot have independent candidates, that you cannot have people who on their own, based on their capacity, based on their experience, be able to have a go in holding offices?
Well, that is an ideal that everybody should work towards. But I must tell you that even when you have independent candidates, the kind of system we operate may not allow them to emerge. And I'll give you an example. When Gani Fahimi was alive, he formed the National Conscience Party. And if you know the antecedent of Gani Fahimi, it was like the toast of the masses. He was always there to fight. He was always, yes, they were always fighting for the interest of the masses. But when he formed the National Conscience Party, even in his Ondo constituency, you understand me, that National Conscience Party couldn't even win a councillorship seat. And that is to tell you that the kind of structure that we operate is such that does not allow people of conscience to come in.
How can we dismantle that structure?
That's a very big one. And I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't know how we can begin to do that. But we can start by proper enlightenment. Enlightenment in the sense that we should always tell people that, look, all these things you are doing, if you are not careful, you are mortgaging the future of your children, the future of the country, and everybody. They should take a cue from what is happening today and begin to now realize the fact that it is not enough for us to just elect to say because we have been given 5,000 or 10,000. You understand me? Or because this man is from my tribe, is from my ethnic group, that's the person I want to vote for, whether he will better my lot or not. What is there goes beyond that, and that is when Nigeria can begin to be better. Then again, there must be sanctioning of people.
Maybe, no, we will take that up, okay. Because this is an issue that needs a prolonged discussion.
Yeah.
And we will have to let the viewers know that come next week, we're going to treat these issues critically. We will look at the issue of how can campaigns drive investment to a nation?
Yeah.
How can campaign bring about feasible development? And so many other issues. So, viewers, it's been a wonderful time that I'm having with Dr. Lekon Oketokun, a political scientist and also lecturer at the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic. He's someone that I will always rely on when issues like this come up. Until next week, where we engage him and Dr. Simon Otumala, please stay with us. Thank you so much for being with us. Connect with us on Facebook, connect with us on Twitter, connect with us on YouTube. This program is always on YouTube on a weekly basis. You are welcome. Thank you so much.